Welcome to October's Zero Lab Speaker Series. We're very fortunate to be able to host this event this month in the beautiful Chef Art Center at the Maine Film Center. So thank you to our hosts. It's great seeing everyone this evening. For those that have not attended in the past, Zero Lab Speaker Series is a monthly event where founders and leaders share advice on how they overcame challenges, capitalize on their target market, and develop their products, providing you with actionable insight for your own products and processes. For more information, you can find us on DirigoLabs.org or on our speaker series tab, and also on social media. I'd like to thank our sponsors for this evening's conversation. This free event is presented by Dirigo Labs and is sponsored by the Harold Alpont Institute for Business Innovation at Thomas College, Valley Beverage, and Brooks Co-working and Innovation Days. In addition, this conversation is being recorded and will be available for later viewing on our YouTube channel. This evening's conversation is presented by Mbingo Mountain Coffee with founder Churchill, Elangwe, Preston. In this speaker series, Churchill will discuss how Mbingo Mountain Coffee is on a mission to create a coffee brand that emphasizes strong connections with coffee growing communities, fair trade principles, and environmentally responsible approaches to cultivation. And with that, I'll hand it off to Churchill.
So good evening. My name is Churchill. I'm with Preston, as you've seen on there. I am the founder and owner of Mbingo Mountain Coffee. As you can read up on the screen, I grew up in a coffee community. So by the time I was 15, I was already marinated in coffee and cocoa, production, for the process and everything. But I ended up coming to the US to study electrical engineering, and which I, did okay for myself. But, growing up as a young boy, coming from a community where people struggle, most especially farmers, they struggle to take care of their families, to sponsor their children in school. I felt so privileged, coming from the family that I came from. And I always said to myself, when I grow up, I would, become a big shot and come back and help all these kids and save these families. But as we all know, you can't do that. You can't really save the world. You can only do what you can do. But I got to a point in my career where I felt like, this was the perfect timing to go back to my roots. Yeah, to go back to my roots and accomplish that mission that I had in mind when I was really young. So so if you see on the map, that's where Cameroon is from, and my town, Linden, is right down on the coast. And that's the map of Cameroon. And as you can see, that's Linden, where I come from. Boom. That's me when I first came to the US. The very first day, actually, when I attended KVCC. And this is me on the day where we're launching Mbingo Mountain Coffee at Holy. What a difference, huh? So yeah, like I said before, I worked in the industry as an engineer for about 13 years, and I did a good job. But sometimes that's money is great. It's always good to make money, but I've always felt the need to do something that would leave an impact that would help other people. So I left the engineering sector, and I decided to go back to my roots and also, maybe introduce something that's really great into our community. Our community deserves the best. Yep. I love Tata Madiba, as we call him, Nelson Mandela, where he said, may your choices reflect your hopes and not your fears. I really admired Nelson Mandela, and this is one of my favorite quotes from him, because about 2 years ago, I have a lot of friends, engineers, who said to me, dude, I can't believe you left the engineering sector just to sell coffee. What do you think? You crazy? But, I usually tell them that, what I do is beyond, it's more than just selling coffee. And when we end up having conversations about what I was doing, and you see their face, it's just, oh, wow, I guess that's cool. So, with all that said, early this year, Mbingo Mountain Coffee was born. It's something that I had been working on over the years for a little bit. But we officially launched the company in January this year. And that was the inauguration ceremony we had at Holy Cannoli downtown Waterville. It was a great turnout. A lot of people, I always like to use this because a lot of people do not even know how coffee looks like. And almost, I'll assure you, about like 85% of people that I talk to, when I show them, they're like, "Oh, is that cherry?" I say, "It's coffee cherry." But yeah, that's coffee. And those are some of my farmers. About 97% of them are women, and these women are powerhouses. I mean, they really believe in what they do, and they produce good work, good coffee. Everything is done by hand, as you can see. Yeah, this is also one of the farmers working on natural processed coffee. I love this shot. So early this year, I went to visit my farmers, and I was in Rwanda. And when in this country, we spend so much time at the gym, and we think we're very strong. So I was helping some of the farmers harvesting, and I harvested a bag of coffee of about, I would say, 80 pounds. And I was extremely proud of myself because it was very heavy. It was a lot of stuff, a lot of work. And this woman said to me, "Churchill, get out of my sight. You're slowing us down." I was so discouraged because I had, spent almost all day, helping them to pick coffee. But this tells you the type of farmers that we have. Yeah, there's more coffee production. Yeah. So yeah, so these are coffee beds. So these are how coffees are dried. When they harvest the coffee, they take the skin out and they process it. They put them on the beds. There is it's like a breathing net in between. So there's air coming from underneath from all angles to dry the coffee. So just wanted to make sure that, yeah. So those are the women. So basically, they every like 20 minutes, they go back and they turn the coffee to ensure correctness. So yeah, these are washing stations that have been built by the farmers. Boom. I always there's when you look at this, I mean, what do you see? If I look at that, I usually I'll be confused as an American, but as an African, if I look at that, I know exactly what I'm looking at. Meet Moses. Moses is a son of mine now. Not officially, but I take care of him. As a kid that I met in Rwanda when I went a few years ago. This kid, man, I always like to use this quote that I saw earlier on where he says, half of the world are trying to lose weight, and the other half are starving. Here's like a typical example of that. And this kid, all he wanted was a little bread. And the rest was history. But he's in good hands now. He's in school, thanks to the work that we're doing and the work that you guys are also supporting. Oh, I forgot to bring some stuff. That's roasted coconut. My last trip I went. So the kids, I mean, we can sit here and talk all day about these children, but these children are children that some of them have never been to school. And as someone who feels privileged. I feel like it's my responsibility, not only to look out for children like that, but also there are children in our community too who could, need some assistance. That's why Mbingo Mountain Coffee was born. So not only can we introduce good product into our society, into our community, but also extend helping hands to the farmers. Moses, so the last time I came, it's amazing how kids are so innocent and they're so trusting. So when I went to the last trip that I went to Rwanda, this kid, he saw me and he was just rushing to me and he just jumped. I wasn't even ready to catch him, but thank goodness I was strong enough to catch him. But they were so happy to see me, and it was just the relationship that I'm creating with not only my farmers but their families and the community. I think it's really great because it really emphasizes the importance of education. You know, most of these farmers, even like in the community where I come from, they have the coffee season where they harvest the coffee. They harvest the coffee, they sell the coffee, and then during off season, what do? They have no money. So what they do, they tend to go and borrow money with high interest to pay back when they harvest the coffee next season. So when they harvest the coffee next season, they sell the coffee, they pay the loan back, and then they borrow another money. So it becomes a cycle. And growing up, I saw that firsthand, and that's one of the things that really, really bothered me so much. And I kept thinking, what can I do to break that cycle? But what we're doing now, we are ensuring that the farmers not only get the money directly from the stuff that we buy, but they get almost twice the amount that other companies pay. But also, in addition to that, we ensure that their children go to school and they get the education they need. So that takes away a big chunk of the worriness of the parents. Here we go. So that's coffee on the drying bed. That's how the women they dry it, and every like 20 minutes they go and they turn the coffee around. And it's amazing the coffee journey from the plant to the cup. It goes through a lot of hands, and the process is quite impressive.
I came late. What country is this?
This is Rwanda.
Rwanda. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yes. And that's a coffee that I was very proud, where I just was showing off, like, oh, look at what I did today. And she said, Churchill, you're slowing us down. Please move on. And it was very humbling. So this is a copying session that we usually do when we the harvest, the roast. That's how we determine the flavor of the coffee. If you look at the bags of my coffee, it will still say blackberry, cherry, caramel. This is the process to determine that. And that's a copying session. Yeah, after copying session, enjoying some nice coffee. Boom. So after the process, harvesting, all the other processes, and then they prepare the coffee into the warehouse, getting ready to ship thousands and thousands of miles, from the country to the US or other countries. In my case, to the US, that's how it's packaged. Yeah, so these are some of the farmers. And early on this year, I initially planned to travel, but because I became a US citizen, the passport process was delayed. So I wasn't able to travel when I planned to travel. And when I was able to travel, I got a ticket. I didn't notify them that I'm coming. So when I just showed up, oh my goodness, it's almost like I don't know, Thanksgiving They were so happy, but it was so nice to see, in this people, on these people's faces, how excited they were, to see me and to talk about all the progress. I looked at some were crying, basically. It was really nice, it was very nice too. Um, so yeah, it's a beautiful country. The Uganda is beautiful, Ethiopia is beautiful, Rwanda is, especially also beautiful. And, the farms where these farmers, produce this coffee, I'll tell you, I used to think I was in great shape. I used to think I was very strong, but they really humbled me. It's always very tedious. I lose at least 10 pounds each time I travel there. Um, boom, that's the roastery. That's where it's happening. So yeah, so that's Mbingo Mountain Coffee, that's a roastery in Waterville, where we roast the coffee and package and supply to stores and sell online and ensure that you guys have something nice in the morning. Yeah, so those are some of the children and when we sometimes we think about legacy and I have friends, and some family friends, who have a lot of money and their own definition of legacy is totally different from mine. And I totally believe that, most especially like here in our community, um, just what a lot of people are doing, I think it's a great testament to the type of community that we live in, the Dergo Labs, and Maine General Chamber of Commerce. And it's really, really great because it goes a long way. I would say my own definition of legacy, the lives that you touch, the people that you help along the way, like you guys are doing. So maybe extend a helping hand to people like that, extend helping hands to some people in our community who are not able to go to community college because they can't afford books, they can't afford to pay school fees. So yeah, and yeah, that's it. That's it. Thanks. Sure.
Churchill, thank you. That was really, it's inspiring and amazing, and congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
And selfishly, your coffee is delicious. Not my question, but for folks maybe watching from home or watching at a later date,
Sure.
first off, where can we find your product these days?
Yes, the easiest way you can find it online, at www.mbingomountaincoffee.com. And also we have a Facebook page and Instagram page, and you can also buy through that. And also we have stores like Holy Family downtown Waterville, Main Greens in Skowhegan, and the Rising Tide in Damariscotta, and Tipped Trailer in Newport, and also the health food store in Bath, but also other stores out of state and also in Canada. Yeah.
That's amazing, and I'm sure more to come. And again, congratulations. Just so fascinated with the international lens here, the international trade from Rwanda to the United States, to the East Coast, here to Waterville, Maine, and the value add.
Yeah.
Can you touch on just some of the challenges you've learned in this role of imports, exports, and international trade, and how have you been received in Rwanda with regards to this international trade?
Yeah, thank you so much for the question. And I was, or I can say I'm fortunate enough to have connections in Rwanda, and also affiliated with a company, Falcon Coffees, that just bring my coffee into the US. And then I'm able to, like, I have a warehouse in Texas, be able to store my coffee there and then transport it here. So I really lucky that I don't have to deal with all the logistics and all this. I pay for it, but I don't have to like formally deal with them. Yes, and also the goal is to create a warehouse here in Maine. so we can store them right here in Maine. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Would you ever think of, creating, a retail coffee shop yourself to take it, I guess what they call vertical integration, go, from the bean to a retail coffee shop? Would you ever consider that?
You know, life is so unpredictable, even when it comes to business. When you're doing business, sometimes growth comes, in an unexpected way. And currently, we're staying roastery, we're roasting and just supplying it to all these other stores. But hey, we can say no. I came into this country with one little bag, and look at what I'm doing. I didn't know I'll be doing what I'm doing like right now. So to answer your question, it's open.
Not out of the question, great.
Yes, thank you.
Love to have you have a coffee shop in town.
That would be nice. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You got room for them both? Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, maybe we should talk. Yeah, no question. Hey, you can grill me, please. That's what I'm here for. Not necessarily grill me, I'm not meat. But
Perfect. You have such an amazing origin story
yes,
and your background, your thoughtfulness, your ability to transfer your thinking into this community, and we're so fortunate for that. But then the education lens, engineering, what skills have you used from your engineering background have you found most kind of important and critical now in your kind of value coffee business? What are those transferable skills that you're leaning on? Any at all?
I'll say everything. I mean, my parents, they sent me to school because they own coffee and cocoa farms. So when it comes to like the agricultural aspect, I knew everything, comes to the educational part, engineering, that's great, I'll tell you. I was good at what I did. And, critical thinking, and quality control, and just a lot of things. I mean, I would say my education also, it helped me a lot with the business that I'm doing now. I don't know if I can be specific on one area, but as a whole, you think of, like I said, critical thinking and quality, attention to details, and all this stuff. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Great presentation, Churchill.
Thank you very much.
Can you tell me how much longer you can sustain yourself in the garage before you're gonna outgrow that? I love the garage.
I was just waiting, it's just a matter of time, someone to ask me that. I don't know, the goal is to move out of the next year. That's the goal. Because the way I'm seeing things, we're growing. The growth is because it's a little more than expected. And so yeah, the goal is to move out of the next year. Hopefully we'll expand our clientele where we can do that. And also a future goal for the company is to become an ESOP. Because I really believe that only when you share and the people who are part of the product that you produce, you ensure that they benefit from that. That's how we also grow as a business. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes,
Great presentation.
thank you.
Just curious, as you kind of grow and you see the sales growth,
Mhm.
is it something where you see it as kind of single origin as you grow, or is there kind of visions of multi-origin?
Well, the single origin is good. It's really great. And one of the things that I have learned and that I try not to deviate from, because, people have different business philosophies. And you have this, this idea and this plan on what you want to do. And then once growth comes and everything changes, I think we will stay single origin because it's really specific to we can actually say, hey, this is the coffee that you're drinking, this is where it comes from, this is the farm that it comes from, this is the farmer. And, you know, the goal also, part of the goal is to be able to connect our community with the farmers. So at some point, we'll be maybe having like a stuff like this where we'll bring the farmers over and you guys can actually interact with them and ask them questions. And I really think that would be really awesome. Yeah. So I don't know if that, did that answer your question?
Yeah, kind of, and I actually just, now it's prompting just.
Yeah, sure.
So just curious, so, what about multiple origins? Is that something you think?
Well, yeah, that's.
Yeah, Uganda, you know.
Yes, I mean, like I said before, you know, initially our philosophy is to stay single origin. But like, for example, we have Uganda, we have Ethiopia, we have Rwanda, and this all the coffees are all single origins. It comes from like specific places that we know it's guaranteed that the quality is exceptional. And yeah, as we grow, we branch out, and we'll discover other origins and make those decisions.
Very exciting.
Yes, thank you. Yes, sir.
Have you ever thought of like a two-way channel where capital could go back to Rwanda and like I could go and I could invest in an entrepreneur's farm that wants to start in Rwanda,
Mhm.
so that way the capital can flow back and forth. So you have somebody that's like, this is a great person,
Mhm.
Brett has a certain amount of money, he wants to invest in this person. Is
Yes,
that something you ever thought about?
I thought about that, but it's not a priority now, because now we're still growing. Yes, if you get the chance, I can share with you some of the ideas that I have it down, but it's not like an immediate priority.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that I have down, yes. Because it goes beyond just, you know, getting the coffee and roasting, and, you know, if you really wanna make the impact that I envision, you have to incorporate other things like what you just said. So, yeah. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am.
What about climate change? Is that something that concerns you for,
Oh, it does, it really does, and
have you noticed, impacts already?
a lot, even in my country. And it's a shame, but people have different practices, you know, and that's why most of our coffee are shade coffees. And you have a lot of different companies pouring money, you know, take down like forests that's been in existence for a very, very long time, and you see them diminishing, and you see the weather pattern changing and stuff like that, affecting the quality of not only the environment, but also coffee and cocoa and other products. Yes, it's affecting the coffee farms also, yes. Yeah. Yes, sir.
What do you think the pitch is, maybe particularly in North America, to a consumer of like Starbucks or a chain versus your product?
Um, well, I'm trying,
I didn't mean to put you on-
no, it's great, but you know, my thing, I have this thing, like, I think Starbucks is great for Starbucks believers. And products that come from companies like Mbingo Mountain Coffee, I think has its own believers also. People who want to preserve the environment, people who want to see the environment green by the time they leave, and it still stays green. So I think you get the gist of it. There's a big difference, yeah. But Starbucks is great. I'm not a spokesman for Starbucks, but I'm sure they have believers like I do too, like you guys. You guys are my believers, right? That's awesome, yeah. Have a question?
No, I'm sorry I got here late.
That's okay.
But I do want to say that, my husband was just traveling in Europe and he loves coffee. and he said he couldn't wait to get back to have your coffee, Churchill,
Wow.
because it was better than everything he tried over there.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's nice to hear. Appreciate that. Very nice.
Churchill, when you look at the maybe like global competition in coffee or North American, or look at your market competitors, those that will be innovating and succeeding, what do you think they'll be doing differently? Like, what does innovation in this space mean to you?
I don't know. I don't know. It's the market is quite competitive, and I have this philosophy is that when you're running a race and you're so distracted by your opponent, by the person running behind you, you're not gonna run a good race. You're always gonna be turning around, and instead of like focusing on where you're going, you're gonna be worrying about the next person. And that's my philosophy on competitiveness. And I don't spend so much time on what quote unquote competitors are doing. I focus on the goals that we have and come up with solutions to accomplish them. Does that answer your question?
That was
Okay, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Give us a subscription product, sorry. what's that?
Actually, it's funny you say that because I have like about 9 people email me and ask about that. For now, I don't, but I have this company, it's called Maine Coffee. It's a subscription company, so they contacted me and they just did the first subscription last week of my product. But I don't personally have a subscription. Stuff. If you have an idea on how to do that, that would be fantastic. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Do you do tours in your
Oh,
watermelon?
absolutely. Yes, please come. And the great thing about having a local shop like the one I do is 2 things. You can either pop in or you can send an email or text, say, hey, Churchill, are you gonna be around this day, this time? I'd love to stop by and take a look at it. And I can plan it well. You come and we can roast a batch and you can have a full experience. We roast it, we grind it, we brew it, and we talk coffee. Please come.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Have you
Yes.
thought about doing that with any of the schools around?
Oh, yes, we've been doing that a lot. I've been doing that the past few months a lot.
Oh, good.
Yes.
My daughter's gonna be here. I'm just wondering what's the contacts look like? Just the school reaches out to you and you.
Yeah, they do. They do. And sometimes word to mouth, like people hear and then they contact me and then they come to the grocery. Yeah,
Okay, well, just, I'd love to share.
absolutely. Please do. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you left a good solid engineering career to go and do this, took a risk to go and do something more mission driven and more purposeful. What's your advice to others who may be thinking about doing that, about getting out of something that's sort of stable and maybe well paying and kind of making that leap and taking that risk on doing something that's maybe more meaningful to you and has more purpose and again, is gonna build more of a legacy,
Yeah.
for yourself. What's your advice for people and I guess giving the courage to go and make that jump?
Well, I would say fear. The fear of the unknown is the biggest destroyer in the room. And I always tell people, if you fail and so what? If you fail and so what? I mean, nobody has died from failure. You learn and you grow. That's how you grow, actually. And when I decided to leave engineering, it's not like I planned ahead of time. I was sitting in my office and I just felt it. I said, you know what? I'm done with this. I use their computer or my laptop, work laptop. I typed up my resignation. I used their printer, printed it, used their pen, signed it, and went to my boss and I handed it to him. He almost pooped in his pants. Oh man, everyone was shocked. But when your innermost GPS is telling you this is what you should be doing, all the times that I have gone wrong in some of the decisions that I've made, at the times that I suppressed my innermost GPS, where it was telling me, do this, and I said, no, I'm not gonna do it. Or say, don't do this, I said, okay, I'll do it. But all the times that I listened to my internal GPS. At the time that I was like, wow, this feels great. Yeah, so fear was a big factor of that. Just take a leap of faith and go with it. I always say, for me, it's different for everybody because I feel like, because some people always say, well, if it doesn't work, there's always plan B. Come up with plan B because, when you come up with plan B, if it doesn't work, you go to this. Why are you planning for failure? Plan B distracts from plan A. If your internal GPS is telling you that this plan A, this is what you should do, I listen to it and I'm doing it. I've done it. Why can't you do it? So that's my advice. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Sorry, you ask one question, I go like 15 answers. Yeah. So, yeah, okay.
No,
How are we
Thank
doing
you.
time?
doing great.
Okay, that's awesome.
I mean, the one thing that I have off the top of my mind is knowing your background, coming from Cameroon
Mhm.
and working, as a coffee farmer and having that previous experience. How do you believe that informed your vision today and how you wanted to see that shape your company?
Well, I'll tell you, I think, I always say, I hate to say the word poor because it has some kind of negative connotation to it. But when you come from nothing and you believe in yourself and you have hope and you have faith in not only yourself, but your surrounding and the things that you're about to accomplish. And I think it really helps you shape your future, the direction that you want to go. I'm speaking for me because he has a question to me. Sorry. Yeah, I just really, my background has a lot to do with the decisions that I've made so far in my life, and also the community that I live in. I mean, I live in Maine. I live in Waterville. I mean, what else can go wrong? It's great. I don't know if I was talking, I was talking to Brian, I can't remember who I was talking to, who was asking me why Maine? And I said, why not Maine? In Maine, you can do a lot of things. It's very personal. The people are very nice. Everybody knows everybody. You can't commit a crime. But yes, also the community around me also, it's a big part of, the decisions. I mean, I could live anywhere in the world with my expertise and the degree that I have, but I chose to live in Maine because it's home, feels like home. Yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
It does.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Gavin, you have a big smile on your face. Yes, ma'am.
How do you take your coffee?
Oh, I take it back just like the way I look. I take it back. Yes, thank you.
Your smile is infectious.
Really?
That's why I'm smiling.
Thank you, thank you. That's awesome.
Look at that picture.
That's awesome. You guys have been wonderful, wonderful.
Fantastic. Thank you, Churchill.
Yeah, thank you.
Just like to thank the Maine Film Center for hosting us this evening. It's been fantastic. This is an incredible venue. They are open most days of the week, featuring some films from independent artists. So I invite you to check out their website to learn more. This conversation has been recorded and will be available for later viewing on our YouTube channel. And I'd like to thank our sponsors for this event, the Harold Alphon Institute for Business Innovation at Thomas College, Valley Beverage, and Brooks Co-working and Innovation Space. Thank you and have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.